At least 11 people are dead following Israeli airstrikes in southern Lebanon yesterday. It's the first deadly strike on either country since the ceasefire went into effect last week. Now both sides are accusing each other of violating the agreement. The IDF says the strike was in response to a pair of Hezbollah rockets hitting northern Israel after Hezbollah also accused Israel of violating the ceasefire. The IDF says it was targeting Hezbollah terrorists and their infrastructure. Here at home, Americans rally to demand hostages held by Hamas be released immediately. Among the rally-goers in New York City was the family of Edan Alexander. Just one day before the rally, Edan appeared in a Hamas propaganda video begging Benjamin Netanyahu and President-elect Trump to agree to a deal. Edan Alexander is Edan's father, and he joins me now. Sir, thank you so much for being here. What went through your mind when you saw your son in that video?
First of all, it was very emotional and very disturbing. It was our first sign of life, the actual sign of life. Other people saw him in the tunnels back in November of the last year, but we never saw him. And that was the first time when we saw our son begging for his life.
So it has to be bittersweet, knowing that your son is alive, but also knowing the conditions that he is in and has been in for 14 months.
Yeah, it's simply unbelievable, the inhumane condition that those hostages are being kept. It's simply unbelievable, with no Red Cross access. We don't know if they get enough nutrition, enough food, medicine. We don't know nothing. And it's very disturbing.
It's disturbing for all of us to watch this and learn about the plight of the hostages. But I cannot imagine going through that as a parent. Can you even put into words the emotions that you go through as a parent?
Our son in this video, at the last segment of this video, asked us to stay strong. And he told us that he hopes that this nightmare will be ending soon. So we have to go on autopilot every morning. Just go into this mode and just keep fighting for his release. There is no other choice, and the hope is mandatory.
What has been your latest communication with Benjamin Netanyahu and President Biden?
So Benjamin Netanyahu called my wife a couple of days ago, saying that there is a deal is on the table, and they are working tirelessly to narrow the gaps with Hamas and pass it over the finish line. And I had a similar conversation with the White House. Our understanding that there is a deal that every part have to make some concession to narrow those gaps, and we hope that the diplomacy will work this time.
Does the election of Donald Trump change anything in your mind?
Yes, I think so. That was a hell of a tweet to start with from yesterday. And I met with President Trump a couple of months ago. He looked disturbed. This issue is very close to his heart. He feels for the hostages. And I don't think he wants this conflict on his plate on January 20th. And he wants to finish the war.
So you think your son is going to be released before Inauguration Day?
I hope so. I hope so. I really hope so.
And if he's not, do you trust Donald J. Trump will bring your son home?
Absolutely.
Why?
We need a strong leadership. We need the use of the friendship between both leaders, Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump, to execute the deal and to make unnecessary concessions.
What's your message to the Biden administration?
To Biden, we had a great amount of access on the highest level with the Biden administration. My message, please use the remaining time that you have in the White House to execute this deal, and don't forget our kids.
Final question. Your wife is overseas right now in Tel Aviv. You have a family that has been going through this. It's not just you. How is the family doing?
The family, we are strong for the past almost 14 months. We have 18 years old daughter. She's in a college. We have another kid, 13 years old, which is a great basketball player. My wife, she's strong, we're strong, and we'll keep fighting.
Again, these segments hit different when it's parent to parent. I cannot imagine what you were going through, but just know that you are in all of our prayers here.
Thank you.
And I know you're in the current administration and in the future administration's thoughts and prayers as well. They will bring your son home, hopefully, and that is what we pray for every day.
Meanwhile, in Israel, family members of hostages desperately waiting for answers, including our next guest. Edan Chen's father, Ruby Chen, joins us now. Ms. Chen, thanks so much for joining us, Ruby. I appreciate it. Your thoughts right now that there's a ceasefire with Hezbollah, it's all mysteriously quiet with Iran. Now there's going to be more focus, I imagine, on Gaza, where your son is thought to be held. What are your thoughts now?
Yeah, I think we want to first thank the president. You know, he has not been that much on social, and the fact that he tweeted what he did yesterday just shows his commitment to this topic, and we cherish his obligation to our cause, the tragedy that we've been having to endure for over 424 days. And I just want to pause a second and also send our condolences, my family's condolences, to the Neutra family that received tragic news yesterday after 423 days that they had hope that their son was still alive. They were notified. And I think it's also coupled with the sign of life that Edan Alexander, the Alexander family, the kid from New Jersey, we got on Saturday. I think those two events, you kind of couple them together. I think brought the president to talk about the topic on social, and B, I know that it also connected and incentivized both teams, the existing administration as well as the incoming administration, to work together in a bipartisan way and try to find a solution for this tragedy before January 20th happens.
It's just important about President of the United States saying definitively, hey, you got 6 Americans there. They're dual citizens, most of them. We want them out, and you better fix this by the time I get there. And that's the type of directness you need from the President of the United States. It seems to be very welcome among the hostage families. But I also know that Hamas watches and understands the world press, watches the news. What should they take away from that?
It's exactly the type of language we're missing. It's 7 U.S. hostages. And I think the message was not just directed to Hamas. I think it was also directed to Iran and the other beneficiaries that have been supporting Hamas financially. I could say for a fact, Hamas is still able to pay monthly salaries to its militants as well as its operators inside of Gaza. It is unacceptable that Hamas is able to pay tens of millions of dollars monthly to these people. The money is coming from places that we know, places in the Middle East, people or countries that claim to be allies of the United States, NATO countries, and that needs to stop. And I think that is going to be a very strong message from the president once he gets into office, and that's part of what he means.
Gotcha. Rudy, thanks so much. Sorry your family's going through this. And hopefully the threat of Donald Trump becoming president will get everyone's attention. Thanks, Ruby.
Yeah,
appreciate
just
it.
maybe one last thing, Brian. You know, Christmas is coming up. You know, we've already done one Christmas with an empty chair at our dinner table. You know, we would like to ask people to pray with us together to hope that we have a miracle waiting for us, that our kid will be able to come out by Christmas and before the president even starts office on January 20th.
Gotcha. Edan, and that's, of course, Edan. Thanks so much, Rudy. Appreciate it.